Hey guys, in this video we are going to work on the expiration date field for the billing information step. As you can see, we are using the out-of-the-box date control from Pega, which lets you pick a day, month, and year. But here's the thing, when entering payment details, you typically only need the month and year. Credit cards are valid through the last day of the expiration month, so selecting a specific day isn't necessary. Unfortunately, Pega doesn't offer an out-of-the-box control for this use case. So we will need to figure out a way to make this work. So here's what I'm thinking. We will create two new properties, expiration date month and expiration date year, and they will be drop-down controls. Now, if you remember from the last video, we already have a validation for the expiration date property. So my idea is that instead of changing the validation to use the new properties, we will instead update the value of the expiration date property, which is the one that is being validated, based on the values selected in the new month and year properties. So for example, if the user picks April 2025, we will set the expiration date to the last day of April, so it will be April 30, 2025, since that's the last valid day of the month. So how are we going to do that? Well, once again, we will work with the declare expression rules. They are really powerful and super handy for this kind of things. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start by creating the new properties. And now let's add these properties in a new section. Okay, now that we have our two new properties here, what I'm going to do is to create the declare expression to update the expiration date. So I want to check if we have a value in month and a value in year. And then I want to set the expiration date equal to the last day of the current month and year. For this, I'm going to be using this function. As you can see, this returns a string, which is going to be our date. And you need to provide the date that you want to modify. Then here, these values are for years, months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, and seconds, and those corresponds to how much you want to add to that date that you are passing on the first parameter. So what we are going to use is we are going to add 1 month to the month that we are setting in the dropdown, and then we are going to subtract 1 day from that date so that we go to the previous month, and then we have our last day where the card is valid. So to construct the first parameter, which is going to be a date, we need to start by the year, then the month, and then a day. So I already have two of those three values. So let's start with the expiration year. Then we are going to concatenate the month. And lastly, we are going to set the day. For this, I'm just going to set it equal to 1. Then it comes the other parameters of how much we want to add to this date. So I think the first one was years, so we don't want to add any years. The next one was months, so we want to add 1 month. Then I think it was weeks, 0. Then days, we want to subtract 1 day. Then it was hours, minutes, and seconds. So let's see if this works. So here, let's provide 1 year and 1 month. Okay, this is working. Let's try December. Yes, and as you can see, it is very dynamic. So you will always get the last day of whatever month you choose. Now, something that I'm noticing here is that this is for the time, and I want it to be all in zeros. So what I'm going to do is copy this part from here and paste it over here. And I'm going to set it all to 0 so that this is always in zeros. So now I'm going to save this. And I think that's the only change that we need. Now we might need to create a new case for this change to take effect, but let's see. No, it is working. So that's actually really nice. So now let's test if this works. Let's select the first of this year, which we already passed, and we should get that warning that the expiration date is not correct, is in the past. So it is working. So that's it for this one. So in the next video, we're going to start working with an activity, and we will create an activity that will allow us to populate this dropdown with the current year and 10 years from now, so that if we come back in the future, in 1 year or 2 years, this will be populated dynamically instead of having a hard-coded local list in our dropdown. So see you in the next one. Thanks.